guys can start anytime. Camera is running.
Rolling.
Rolling, sorry.
Rolling.
Rolling. Slanted ah. Dapat. Okay.
Surya?
Okay, hi everyone. Q3, we're just going to skip. Okay, skip some more.
Okay, so this one is just the breakdown of the problem statement. So basically, we are the team manager, we are supervising Gen Z instructors. The issues that are identified is the instructors are working 8 to 10 weeks in a row for programs. Instructors are looking tired and demotivated, they are complaining about workload. Okay, so there also may be a lot of potential issues that may arise based on that. But I won't cover that, we'll cover it later on. Okay, next. Okay, so some of the potential consequences if we don't address this issue, right, is one is risk of injuries or accident. So let's say your instructor all very tired, 8 to 10 weeks work for programs, then after that, this will affect their concentration level. So when they, let's say they go for expeditions, right, with their participants, they may not make sound judgments or they lack the concentration to do risk assessment. So this may lead to my first point, which is risk of injuries or accidents. A?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, go forward. Okay. So to identify Gen Z expectations, so Gen Z values diversity, inclusiveness, and team-based environments. Yeah. Next. So they look for leaders who embrace technology, communicate effectively, and transparently to connect their work into meaningful cases. And next. So lastly, their expectation, they want it to be more authentic, purpose-driven, and they are more open to feedback. Yeah. Therefore, they value flexibility and adaptiveness. So in their leadership values, so they can engage with instructors as an experienced organization. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to methods of addressing the issues. So we have identified two methods. First is the people-oriented solution from the leader. So some characteristics of what it would look like would be that it focuses more on the humans at work. It acknowledges their accomplishments. It's really more focused on how to improve the quality of life for the staff through promoting healthy work element within a work-life balance.
Okay, so adding on to what Kristen just said, right? Leadership is more towards relationships, improving relationship interaction and all that. Manager is more of the task involved of the organization. So let's look at leadership for people oriented, right? The first thing to address the problem that they can do is really acknowledge the accomplishment. So in the problem statement, it states that the Gen Z instructors were working 8 to 10 weeks in a row with only weekends to rest, right? I think the first step that he as a manager, if I were to find out that my instructors are complaining, is to acknowledge the accomplishment first, because it's not easy to run 8 to 10 weeks of program. I will relate this to a real world scenario also lah. So like during my internship, I also had very hectic schedule and time periods lah. So sometimes like there was a lot of things to do, and as a new intern, it's very scary, right? So I pushed through, not just with me, but together with my colleagues in my department. And then at the end of like all the things that we need to settle, my supervisor will text in the group chat to really like individually they will list out our names and then acknowledge our efforts or hard work that we put into the tasks that were involved lah. So it really boosts your morale for your staff.
And so moving on to the next item, which is task-oriented solution from the manager. So characteristics would be things like it focuses more on the work than human. It addresses like any major disruptions within the organization, and it promotes organizational stability. So really, task-oriented solutions focus more on enhancing the process of the company and how it affects the staff, aiming for higher efficiency and effectiveness within the organizational structure.
Okay, so adding on to Kristen's point again, right? Even though leadership-wise, it's important to acknowledge your staff, your workers, and take care of them. You also have another role, which is to ensure that the organizational, like, your tasks are getting done efficiently lah, and on time. Sometimes you are dealing with clients and all, right? So as a manager, you may want to like plan use of resources because you are the first part of contact with resources. So you know how to allocate or delegate the resources with the people, and also coordinate the activities lah. If you know that there is a lot of like programs coming in, then you should be able to. I as a manager, we as a manager will be able to plan the scheduling, adjust accordingly to meet the needs of my staff, and also ensure that the programs are still getting on track.
Okay, next. Okay, so right now I'm going to talk about the situational leadership model. So right now our current instructors is at D3, moderate to high competence. So we know that the instructors are high competence, however they have been working 8 to 10 weeks in a row with only weekends to rest. So this will make them very fatigued and unmotivated, which will affect their safety and performance. Okay, so
next. Okay, so the corporate leadership style will be S3 will be supporting. It's more towards focusing on the encouragement and giving our support as a manager, and work with them instead of telling them what to do. Since they are moderate to high competency, so they should know their roles and responsibilities. So instead of us just directing them or telling them what to do, we should just give them support.
Okay, to start.
Okay, next. So what this means for leadership, so this the conclusion and the aftermath of the activity will be to create an open space for open conversation and feedback, open feedback from them. So this is we get to better recognize their effort and validate their feelings. Yeah, and so this way we can inform instructors in decision to review ownership and motivation, so for them to take more accountability or more responsibilities. Yeah.
so next we're going to talk about the leadership challenge model. So the first practice is model the way. So as a leader, right, I will make a point to show empathy. I'll ask them what's your concern, is there any concern that's relying, and then I will thank them for their dedication and validate whatever challenging these 8 to 10 weeks, this long program affecting them. So I also will encourage really rotating tasks. So such as, you know, that one person will be handling very mentally or physically tasks. So they will split the task accordingly and regularly. Okay. So next next will be inspire a shared vision. So what I can do is that maybe hold some short meeting or check in with them. Maybe encourage them to ask them, is there a better solution or solution to fix the work schedule, and then we can work towards that vision together. Okay, so the next practice is challenge to process. So application to the Gen Z instructors. Through this practice will mainly involve things like experimentation of different methods of operations and how they will work. It could also mean the possibility of making mistakes through this experimentation process. But the key is that they learn from the mistakes, and that is how they will improve through this practice. So an example would be within my capacity as a leader / manager, I will cancel camps out of consideration of my staff because I know that they will be tired after 8 to 10 weeks of working continuously, and I don't want to overwork them.
Okay, to add on, right, if let's say cancelling the camps is not an option, then maybe if I have enough budget, I will hire freelance workers to come in and support the program system so that the well-being of my full-time staff are taken care of.
Next.
Okay, so the next which I will be talking about is enable others to act. So enable others to act is basically about building trust, collaboration within a team. So as a team leader or manager, what I will do is empower them to contribute ideas. So maybe end of programs or when we have free time, I will post a meeting, like department meeting, to really sit down and spark ideas to see if they have any issues or if they have any ideas, so they can propose ideas and solutions also, and then we see if it's practical, then we can implement it also. Yeah. Then for maybe short term or very easy to run programs for their expertise, right, maybe I can give them leadership roles also lah, to give them the ownership and autonomy to conduct or lead other instructors for that particular programs. So this promotes the ownership for them lah. So like Gen Z, right, they like the leadership style of where you give them regular feedback, but then also you give them the space to do things on their own lah, and then you can come back and ask guidance or help if needed. So it will really help them you will enable others to act lah according to the solutions. So yeah, the examples is collaborative team meeting to really inspire ideas, and also delegate leadership roles if it's possible for small scale programs. Yeah.
Okay, so next is encourage the heart. So as manager, we should show our recognition towards the efforts of our instructors, and even for us, we would appreciate getting some recognition for our efforts, right? So this can be done through having acknowledgement of the efforts, or celebrate the team success, or having company dinner, or even some mini award ceremony. So all this can be done to keep, which allows the team morale to be high, and they would be consistent in their quality of work.
Okay, so in conclusion, for the as a leader, the people-oriented solutions would be, in summary, to have regular dialogue sessions with your staff, to engage them, to relate to them also, to understand how they feel from an instructor's point of view. And alternatively, we can also try and implement transactional leadership methods. But if we do that, we have to remember that the reward must be in proportion to the amount of work that they put in. So what you put in is what you get in return. Yeah. So that is for the leadership, for leaders and people-oriented solutions.
So in correlation with the leadership, people-oriented, right? So as a manager, task-oriented, you also want to manage you want to utilize your available resources. So like for the example that I gave earlier, if you have the money to hire in freelance workers, go ahead. So utilizing your resources and coordinating the activities, and also monitoring the progress. Monitoring progress maybe during the program, you go and do an informal check-in to see if your staff are doing okay and everything. And by all this, right, like implementations as a manager or team leader, you will still maintain the reputation of the organization, and also boost the morale of your workers, yeah, and yeah, be a good thing, be a great organization and members. Yep, that's it. Thank you.
Anyone in the team here?
Go.
Do you have any other thoughts about the 3 bullets? Do they really closely relate to the meaning of model the way as you know it?
It could be elaborated better or phrased better.
Give me one suggestion.
So for model the way, right, for example, one example I can give is that, let's say my team member is feeling low morale, or during a discussion or feedback session, he like just low feeling down, he don't want to share, or don't have the space and mind space to share his thoughts or issues. I can just go up to him, sit down with him, and let him know you can talk to me or come to me for help if there's anything that's concerning you in front of others. So when I do that, it shows genuine care, and people also, my team members also will. It's basically modeling the way, so they see like, hey, I'm genuinely caring for my teammate. I'm going, checking on him, asking him if there's everything okay, or he can talk to me. Then he will be inspired to follow my way of taking care of my teammates.
Alright, Thank you guys.
Hard carry. Bro has hard carry.
Sorry, you go inside the
Carry.
exactly open the extra.
Oh, 10 minutes.
BDM.
No,